Let's give Brother Islam another round of applause. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, who came in the person of Master Fuad Muhammad, to whom all holy praise is due forever. And in the name of his divine servant and messenger, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. In their holy names, I'd like to greet my brothers and sisters in the greeting words of peace and paradise in the Arabic language. Assalamu alaikum. Is everyone all right so far?
Yes, sir.
All praises are due to Allah. I'd like to thank Brother Minister Kenneth Muhammad and the believers here at Temple number 41 in Bridgeport, Connecticut, for putting on this program this weekend. And I enjoyed myself very, very much. It's always good to be with the believers, right? It's always good to be with those that are of like minds. Is that right? It's always good to be with those that think like you and want to seek to do things just like you. Because we're all family. Is that right? That's right. All praise to Allah. Brothers and sisters, I'm not going to be long up here. I have a few notes I just wanted to go over. Some of the things I was thinking about to say this afternoon. Because I want to hear the brother who had a chance and had the opportunity and the blessings to sit with the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. I want to hear from him. I want to hear from the brother that shook the hand who shook the hand of a man that shook the hand of God in person. But I want to talk a few minutes about something I was thinking about. That the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said when he was being interviewed by Buzz Anderson in that little house called Violet Drive in Phoenix, Arizona. He told him that Master Fuad Muhammad told him that when he came for us, he loved us. There's something in the human emotion called love. It is called the awesome power of love. See, we have different things in our makeup, in our human makeup, that drives us. Scientists or social scientists say one of the most powerful emotions in a human being is the sex drive. Yes, sir. We say the most outstanding, powerful emotion in a human being is the power of love. Yes, sir. There's an emotion or part of us that has the emotion of appetite. You ever go, you've eaten a meal, right? And after you've eaten that meal, you're full. But you may go down the block. You may walk down the street and you smell the aroma of something that enhances your appetite again and you want to eat. But in the human being, the power of love is most ordinary, extraordinary. That's right. Love. And all of us experience that feeling that we call love. That first time you met your boyfriend or your girlfriend, you know that feeling. And you would do anything and go anywhere to be with that person. You remember that first feeling? All right. I remember I was about 11 years old. I had a little girlfriend by the name of Arlene. She was a little light-skinned girl with light eyes. And I was in love with her. I thought I was anyway. And I saw one young guy talking to her named Wesley. I beat him up because I thought I was in love. Y'all been there before. Go ahead, but it's a powerful feeling. Yes, sir. You'll go above and beyond when you have that feeling of love. You just want to be with that person all day. You call up and call, how you doing, dear? Or you got that first boyfriend. You see him walking down the street, you see him talking to another woman. You get all jealous because you got that feeling, you got that awesome of love for that person. I experienced this love when I came to the Nation of Islam. I never saw anything like this. How the brothers and the sisters began to treat each other in Islam. How we begin to go out of our way to make sure our brother and sister is safe and sound. I remember one cold February. Must have been about 10 degrees below zero outside. And we were in the FOI class. I'm a young man, I'm new. And Lieutenant Clarence, the first lieutenant, ran up and told Captain Yusuf Shah, said, Brother Captain, there's a brother in the FY. He came in, he don't have a coat, and it's freezing outside. And Captain Shah said, assemble the men. Lieutenant Clarence, line the men up, and we lined the men up in a row, about 25 or 30 men on one side and 25 or 30 men on the other side. And they told the brother to walk through the line. And each brother put money in this brother's hand. And man, when we finished giving that brother money, man, he had enough to buy him 50 coats. That's love. That's what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us. That's the kind of love that he instills in each and every one of us. That's right. That's right. And I remember in 1972, when the devils, the policemen of the so-called NYPD, attacked the monster on 116th Street. We had brothers come from all over Islam. They came from Connecticut. They came from Jersey and Philadelphia. They came as far as Virginia. I was at work at the time. I was listening to the radio, and the newscaster said that the mosque on 116th Street had been attacked. Brother, I dropped everything and I went up there. That awesome power of love for my people and for the mosque was in me. And we stood, man, we stood them devils down. We dared them to come into that mosque. That's right. That's the awesome power of love. That's right. This is why Jesus said, if ye so love me, feed my sheep. If ye so love me, then you feed my sheep. And this is why we must feed our brothers and sisters the knowledge of themselves, the knowledge of God, and the knowledge of the devil. We love everybody but ourselves. I was listening to a news program this morning in the hotel. And this black couple, I don't know if any of you saw that, this black couple were members of the white church. And when they got married, when they wanted to get married, they couldn't get married in the church because they said, we don't marry black people in this church. And they interviewed the young sister that was the bride, and she said, I grew up in the church and I was never taught racism. I was taught to love everybody. Well, how are you going to love everybody when you don't love yourself? The Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, love is predicated on self-love. You got to love yourself first. And if you don't love yourself first, you can't love anybody else. Well, how are you going to love everybody? That's out of the ordinary. And if your wife and husband told you they came home, so if your husband came home and told you, I met these women, I love them, you ain't going for that. Mr. Muhammad taught us love. He said that Master Fraud Muhammad submitted himself to come and find us, leave the sleeping, dead, lost sheep in the wilderness of North America. He said he took off his holy robes and came down to America to find that which was lost and to find that one to teach the rest of us. He submitted himself to adversities. Brothers and sisters, that is love. Yes, sir. But you say, how is God going to submit himself or render himself to adversity? Well, you don't understand the working of God. Right. You don't understand the heart of God. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, this one who signed his name, W.F. Muhammad, came to save us because he loved us. He had that awesome power of love. And he found that one, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. He was looking for him. He was looking for a man that had that heart, that love in his heart for black people. And the only way you can teach black people, the only way you can work with black people, you gotta love them. Because they'll put you to pure hell. That's right. It's lonely up here sometimes. That's right. Because when you think you're helping them, they'll come after you. That's right. And the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, what a powerful, beautiful, humble, loving man to work with us for more than 40 years. Right. He had to run from his own family. That's right. Brother Minister Basir Muhammad said, Sister Clyde Muhammad would talk about how she would have to go to the market when it was closed to get cabbage that was left over. Food that was left over to feed her family because her husband was on the run. He was on the run because he had a love for us, and he knew that he had to stay alive so he could teach us. And he wanted to stay alive long enough that we could mature and come into the knowledge of ourselves. Yes, sir. He worked for 40 long years. Teach, brother. Teach us now. He loved us. Teach us now. That much. That's right. The awesome power of love. He taught us to love each other. He taught us to love your brother as you would love yourself. Love your sister as you would love yourself. Let us love our people. Brother Minister Kenneth, the next time we come here under these circumstances, we're going out. We're going to round up there for a while. We're going out. We're going to bring some people. We get the captains together, the captains will organize us, right? And the other while we'll go out, we'll go right next door, there's a church there. After they finish their 2 o'clock ending meeting, we're going to bring some of them here. What kind of love we got to have for our people. Right? Brother Minister Batim talked about the destruction of America. If we love our people before the destruction happens, what is going on right now, really? There is no particular day. They say you don't know the hour or the day. Well, there's 1,000 years of the day, and the day is 1,000 years to God. And if the destruction is in process, then we got to go get our people. Right? The chief right there talked about the folding up of this old world. But before it folds up, we got to have that love in our heart to go after our people. Start in your home, start in your community. We're going after them. So the next time we come here, we'll get the captains, your organizers, brothers, and we'll set up and continue. We'll get in our cars and we'll go out through the city and bring our people in here so we can teach them. That's right. That's right. You got to have the love for black people. That's right. Because they don't love themselves. That's right. This is why you see the madness going on. The shooting, the murders in Chicago, in Detroit, I'm sure in San Antonio, Texas, in Richmond, Virginia. Our people are killing each other. I'm seeing, as a parole officer, I'm seeing young baby girls on parole for murder, for assault. Honorable Elijah Muhammad said that this is a savage country. We are savages. We are lost in knowledge of ourselves and live in peace life. We have no value for life. So we have to go and get our people because we must seek them and save them. That's because they can't save themselves. That's right. So I said, for all I have to say, I want to hear a minister here. I first saw this great minister, I believe 1969, 1970, in March 1970. There's mosque number 7C in Brooklyn, which we have the largest amount of brothers and sisters in Brooklyn, more than Harlem. That's right. That's right. We have a lot of Brooklyn. It's in fact, Brooklyn, New York, that I'm working in, is the 4th largest city in America. Brooklyn. Got of the 2 million black people in New York City, majority of them are in Brooklyn. I met him in Brooklyn, New York. He was teaching. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad sent him around. He came to New York City. And I said, and the brother taught a powerful subject. I don't remember everything he said, but I know it was powerful. And at the end of the meeting, he opens up for questions and answers, or for questions. And the lieutenant ran in the back to the secretary and said, hey, that minister's opening up for questions. So we got and said, the secretary said, brother, take it easy. He said, this man is well qualified to answer any question that comes from the floor. And I got the opportunity to see him, hear from him, and I'd like for you to hear from him. So I bring to this roster a man that sat and lived with the Honorable Elijah Muhammad for 3.5 years, Minister Basir. Let's bring him all the way down.
In the most holy day of Almighty God, in the name of Master Muhammad, we, the black men and women in America, can never give enough thanks and praise to them for raising up from among us this last and greatest messenger, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad.
Yes, sir.
When the messenger sent me to represent him throughout the country, he told me that he prayed to Allah that he would make me successful in spreading the truth throughout America, and to please give his greetings to the believers wherever I saw them. So I bring to you the greetings from the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. Salam alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam, sir.
Minister Kenneth, who is doing a great work. I thank you for inviting me here. And to the brothers on the podium here,
Sir.
who is also doing a great work in the cities that they're in. We can never get enough workers to do the job that has to be done. We're living in a time of the end of suffering and dying of black people. The messenger have taught us that we are the ones in the operating room.
Yes, sir.
And it's up to us to help save our dying people. In this day and time, it's a terrible thing to hear our mothers and our fathers still praying to the devil. Over 400 years, they prayed that one day God would send someone to remove them from this evil and wicked people. They sung songs in churches.
Yes, sir.
Our God is going to move this wicked old race and raise up a nation that will obey.
Yes, sir.
prayed, wearing out their knees about the condition and the need for change. They used to sing a song in churches.
Yes, right.
We don't know.
Take your time. Take your time, brother. Take your time, brother. Take your time.
They used to sing in churches about the sun, the moon, and the stars, and the cross. The name of the song was "This Old Rugged Cross," a sign of slavery, suffering, and shame. That the old rugged cross was so hard to bear. But one day they knew that they would change. That old rugged cross was starry crown. You don't hear them saying that in the churches no more.
We don't go to the church.
Then this is a shame. But we are crying out to our people that the train is in the station.
That's right.
Get on board, black man and woman. There's room for many more. I'm not going to go into all that right now. We have, must be all believers.
Yes, sir. Right.
Unity.
Yes, sir.
So I'm going to talk to you about the Honorable Elijah Muhammad.
All right. Yes, sir. Yes,
The Honorable Elijah Muhammad was a man, when you knew him, you knew a man like God. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad said that God took the devil's mind out of him and replaced it with his own. This is why the Honorable Elijah Muhammad preached that everything I teach is the truth.
yes, sir.
I can't make a mistake. Because God don't make a mistake. If you find any mistake I make, I give my life in $10,000 fine. Nobody ever challenged him. You never heard of, known of anyone that said that which the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said.
That's right.
The devil didn't challenge him. The black preacher didn't challenge him. No one. He was a man like God. I was with him, but I was afraid of him. When he walked in the room, and I jump up, I was afraid to move unless he said, sit back down. He used to have to ask me to ask him questions. I would be waiting for him to tell me something, and he would be talking to me, and he said, well, what is it that you want to know? Ask me questions. I'd be scared to ask him a question. Because I would be afraid that it wasn't a question that I should ask. It might sound silly, but that's why they have a question and answer period, and the messenger has taught us that no question you have is silly.
That's right, yes, sir.
If you ask the question, it's because you don't know.
That's right.
And you want to know. But it's silly to ask the question when you already know the answer. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad he moved to Phoenix because of his health. He told me one day, he said, it was right after Savior's Day meeting in Chicago, that he was teaching, and many of you that believers don't realize what a load it is on you to teach our people. You get so drained when you're bringing the teachings to our people. After you stand there a couple of hours, that you are weak. And the Honorable Muhammad was sweating. His clothes were wet. All of his clothes, his coat and everything. He had talked so hard that he was hot all over. And when he got to the house, he went upstairs to his bedroom and laid down across the bed. Before he laid down across the bed, he said he opened a window.
Yes, sir.
And this was in Chicago in February when snow was up to your knees. It was cold. And he said he fell asleep. And when he woke up, his clothes on him was ice and frozen because of the sweat. And he said, this is what caused his sickness. So he came to Phoenix. He had bronchitis. See, if we know something about our leader and what he went through and suffered,
Yes, sir.
that we may live and be brought out of this level of bondage that we have been in. Then we will work harder on the job that we got to do.
Yes, sir.
So, at times, we had to put him under oxygen. Believers, they didn't know how sick he was. This was in 1960. And for 3.5 years I was there with him. Nobody wanted to go to Phoenix and open a temple. So I told him I would go. And I went there and opened a temple, and then he said, buy me a house there. So we got the house. Little Jordan house.
Yes, sir.
And the people, they were, black people, act like they were afraid of him. But after he was there for a while, he had a weekly program on the radio.
Yes, sir.
And that he stopped. And he would make tapes. And I would take them down and they would play them. And then his sickness got worse. So he had me to do the tapes in his place. Then the devils didn't like what was being said in the radio.
Yes, sir.
Because black people began to listen. And our temple was a building that the Chinese owned. And the people started coming, they started coming. And then one Sunday, the devil showed up there in 3 or 4 FBI cars. They took their coats off with their guns showing, and they got outside of their car and they stood there across the street from the temple. This was to scare our people away. But I don't know, Allah must have been with them because the people kept coming. So I told the messenger what this devil had done. And so he told me, he said, well, next Sunday when you go over to the devil and ask him what was the purpose they were there. And I went to the devil and I asked him, why are you here with your guns showing? And sitting there trying to frighten our people away. And then the devil told others to get in their cars and they left. You see, when you show no fear of the devil, he will flee from you. So, but anyway, the messenger of sickness got burst. So Brother Herbert told me to send messages to all the temples throughout the country. And we took a Friday that we were going to have an hour-long prayer. But there would be no teaching. We would just go and pray. So we did this. And I would pray a while, and Brother Herbert would get up, he would pray a while. And one of the other temples, but at that time all the temples were free. So when I got back to the house, the messenger said, Brother said, I really feel good. But prayer will help when you pray to a God, your God.
That's right.
Not the devil's God, but it's your God. He hears you. Right. Because you are his children. Yes. And he heard our prayers. And the brothers were saying that Sister Clara Muhammad would tell me about what she had to go through. Our woman was a strong woman. Under the teachings of the Honorable Elijah. She would sit there, tears would be running down my eyes, I would be crying. She said that she would have no money, no food, and she had to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning and go to the grocery stores. And they would be pulling the old leaves off the lettuce and cabbage and the stuff that they were throwing in the trash to get food to feed the children. She said that was time, and the Honorable Elijah Muhammad during this time, he was running for his life. Yes. She said every once in a while, the messenger would walk up to her in disguise because the FOI under his brother was looking for him to kill him. They said she would feel something going into her pocket or grabbing her purse. And said, when she looked, he done put something in there and gone. Because they were watching her to get to him. We don't know what getting on all the time. Would bring poison food to her. She said she was getting ready to feed the children one day, and the Savior came in and told her that food is poison. Throw it away. So we should know about the messenger.
Yes, sir.
And Sister Clara was a strong woman. That's why they say behind every good man there's a strong woman. Your sisters have to be strong.
Yes, sir.
Get stronger and stronger. We need to get our women into the nation of Islam.
Yes, sir. Right.
We see only a few brothers here. We got to get our brothers
Right.
in here.
That's right.
Right.
Our sisters need protection.
Yes, sir.
If there's no man to protect her, she's afraid.
Yes, sir. That's right.
Very wow. That's right, brother.
Yes, sir.
So we have to think about our sisters, our children that are coming. We have to be there to guide them and keep them on the right path.
That's right.
One night, young Elijah woman was ran up there and ushered the mass over. I don't know if anyone have ever been around somebody dying. They have long, deep breaths, like they're not going to get enough. This is the way he would breathe. Bronchitis affects the lungs.
Yes, that's right.
And I happened to look at Sister Carol, and she was crying. And all of a sudden, tears started running down my eyes. I started crying too. And the messenger pulled off the mask and said, "Why are you crying? I ain't dead yet. Wait till I die." But anyway, the messenger said many times that he died like all men. Nobody lives forever. So we have to understand that there's many things going around that make people believe that he's up on another ship. And that was a lie that was put out there by the other camp. But the young Elijah Muhammad in person is not coming back. We might as well believe in Christianity. And start looking
To Jesus.
for Jesus. But we know that the dead, once you're dead, you don't come back. As much as those whom we love have died and gone, none of them have ever come back and told us what it was like. As much as they loved us. So, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad has done his work. As the brother said, he laid the foundation.
Yes.
And he built his temple.
Yes, sir.
And once this temple was built, even though it was torn partially down. The foundation stood.
Yes, sir.
That's right.
But what is going on now is the rebuilding.
Come on.
And we are here to complete the work on the building.
Yes, sir.
The Israelites was given a job to do. And he gave us a job to do.
Yes, sir. That's right.
And that is to go out there and bring our people to him and Allah. We're living in a time where we may look up tomorrow morning and everything will be different.
Got it like this.
Allah is just times in America.
Teach Islam.
He's chastising black people.
He is.
Like one brother said, that a tornado hit in the neighborhood that he was in. It was a white neighborhood. And that brother said, I'm going back to the hood. And no tornadoes in the hood. I'm going back to the hood. Just imagine this stuff. So you won't be around. But we have to understand that
Yes, sir.
the time and what must be done.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Honorable Elijah was the most powerful black man.
Yes.
He had power that people today don't even realize.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
How is it that you're going to pray for 400 years for one to come and stand before this devil and call him a devil
In his face.
in his face?
Yes, sir.
A black man
Yes, sir.
who even if you had looked at him different, you might have killed him. But to tell him in the world that this is the devil, and the devil don't do nothing but listen to him. If a black man stand up and do this and say this, every black man in America should stand behind him and say, if he can do it, I can do it too. You know, the messenger said 75% of his work is with the woman. He said that because she is our future. She's the mother that brings our children into the world. We have no future without our woman.
That's right. True.
The devil has degraded us down to nothing. Everybody used and abused the queen of the planet Earth. Mother of civilization. The devil take her and use and abuse her, and her own black man do the same thing. There's coming a day, and it won't be long, when we get our FOI strong enough.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to put a stop to abusing our black man. That black man out there will be stopped overnight. We're not going to let anyone anymore keep calling her B's and H's.
That's right.
We will take care of business.
Yes, we will. That's right. That's right.
And once start taking care of business, we're not going to stop.
That's right.
Until our woman is respected like she's supposed to be respected.
That's right.
You know, TV a little bit, yeah. There were 3 rabbis that wanted to come and see the messenger. So the messenger let them come. One was from Canada, one was from England, one was here in America. And these 3 rabbis, when they got to the house that they offered the coffee, they said, and the messenger talked to them about, said, you're here, what questions do you have for me? And they didn't act like they didn't want to speak. They kept looking at me because I was sitting beside the tape recorder. So the messenger said, Brother Lewis was going to turn the recorder off. So maybe, you know, they would ask some questions. So I turned the recorder off, and then one of them asked the messenger. He said, you say we are devils. And you know what a devil is. And if you made us, why would you make us knowing what we would do? So the messenger said, Allah is one of the greatest chemists. He sits in his laboratory and he creates. And when you create something, there are always the first 7 or 30, whatever, you have to discard because it's not perfect.
Coming to something now. Come on with it.
Yes, sir.
He said, when Allah created from him the black man and the black woman, there was a negative and a positive side of them.
Yes, sir.
And that negative part always tried to overpower the positive part.
Teach.
So he had to go back into the laboratory and find out what ingredients was in us that were causing us to react other than righteous. So he said it was like a potter who is making out of clay. And every pot he made crumbles or breaks. He wanted a pot that would never break.
Yes, sir.
So he had to find what ingredients was he putting in that pot that caused it to be weak.
Yes, sir.
So he had to take out of us that germ that was in us and put it out there before him to see if it would work like the black germ. So he had to take out of us that germ that was in us and put it out there before him to see if it would work like the black germ. So we created you. We made you out of us and give you a chance to correct what was in you and give you 6,000 years to do it. But today we have realized that there's no good in you. So you have to be moved. So the devil had no confidence in that. And they know. The devil knows better than we know ourselves. Because the Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught about the first Adam and the second Adam. We are the second Adam. Well, what do you mean by this? The first Adam was made in the image of the original man. The second Adam, who is us, was made in the image of the white man. The white man took our black mind out of us and put his in it. We act and think like the devil. So Allah have to take the devil's mind out of us and put that black mind. I'm gonna let you go. You know, there's much to tell, but you can't tell it all in a short period of time. I've enjoyed myself here. Brother Minister, Sister Deborah, they something else. I enjoyed myself last night. I like to hurt myself. Eating that good food. And enjoying the company that I was in. It's nothing like being among your own kind.
That's right. That's right.
And one other thing I would like to mention. I remember Dr. living with the rest of the training of kids. He sent me down. He didn't tell me why. He said, the brother said, I want you to stop teaching. So, yes, I feel possible. I went back to Los Angeles. And during that time, I went back to school at USC. And during the time, he would call me every other week. That's behind my door. I said, okay, awesome. I thought every time I picked up the phone when he was on the other end that he was going to tell me, he said, I want to send you some mail. Disappointed. So this kept on for 3 years. So I remember when the state came out, now, he called me one night and told me, he said, brother, I got a plane ticket waiting for you at the airport. So I want you to go. As soon as you get there, come straight to the house. I said, well, it's fine. So when I got there, he told me, he said, the brother who was the minister here, and his wife were keeping my house when I was in Chicago. And said the brother stole some tapes. And I want you to go and get them. The tapes were those that Malcolm had made with several other Muslim sisters, where they were planning to publicize it to try to destroy the message. So I went to the brother, and as soon as I got to the brother, I said, yeah. I said, you want to listen to him? I said, no. These things will wait for me and listen to them together. So I got him and took him back to the messenger. And the messenger told me, said, well, thank you, brothers, and get your baby going back to Los Angeles. So I did, but on the way back, I got to thinking, I said, now, why would he call me to come and get the tape from his brother? All he had to do was to call the spring captain or one of them and tell them, but I realized that if he'd done, the brother would have been dead. And then I would have been a scoundrel. So, but anyway, then he called me one day and he said, brother, this is on Saturday, he said, the minister said, go to temple number 27 and teach tomorrow and sit the brother down as teaching. He said, I'm sitting Captain Shabir, Elijah Muhammad Jr.'s assistant, Supreme Captain, and John Ali there, and they'll be there tomorrow. And I want you to do that. And I'm going to talk that Sunday. While I was teaching, the messenger called Secretary John Ali and told him the meeting was over. Bring the minister back to Chicago. So when I got to Chicago, and we stood there, and the messenger said, are you wondering about this brother? He said, I took this brother and taught him for 3.5 years. I've planted a seed in him like Allah planted in me. And I had to find out if that seed was in fertile ground. So I cut him off from the light of truth. And then when I called him back, I found out that the seed had flourished. That it wasn't in dry land, it was in fertile land. So I knew that I had taught the right brother. Then a week later, there was believers and ministers in outlying areas that filed a petition and sent to the messenger and said, but that they didn't think that I was the right person. The job. The messenger sent John up and Captain Shooting, Elijah Jr. back, and he sent me a letter and told me to have all these people that signed this petition to stand over in front of the roster. Not one. And to give them all 6 months out of the temple. He said, who dare to question what I do, Lord, when I see it? He said, nobody knows this brother like I do. I taught him for 3.5 years.
That's right.
And he said, give them all 6 months out of the temple. Because nobody questioned what I have seen. So brothers and sisters, I thank you. May Allah bless you and I greet you in the week.